When we think of military spending, we usually picture fighter jets and aircraft carriers. But the Department of Defense is also one of the largest consumers of everyday commercial technology on the planet. They buy millions of off-the-shelf devices, from standard iPhones to Android frameworks and VR headsets. To get those devices into the hands of soldiers, the Pentagon pays systems integrators a massive premium. Part of that premium covers corporate research and development, along with the intellectual property licenses required to use the software. Imagine taking your car to a mechanic for a repair. You hand the mechanic the exact replacement parts, which you've already bought and paid for. The mechanic installs them and then hands you an invoice charging you full price for those exact same parts all over again. Former Goldman Sachs managing director and Google engineer R.J. Aguiar looked at this procurement cycle and recognized a familiar pattern. He viewed it entirely through the lens of a software engineer hunting down a line of bad code. The military procurement pipeline is suffering from a systemic double billing glitch. It is actively draining taxpayer dollars by paying for assets the government already holds the rights to use. This creates a high-stakes, asymmetric chess match. On one side, a lone inventor. On the other, the most powerful defense contractors and tech corporations. Fighting a conventional legal battle in civil court against adversaries with bottomless legal budgets is a guaranteed way to lose. Aguiar engineered an entirely different route to force the issue from the inside. You don't try to out-litigate the military-industrial complex. You write a legal exploit and inject it directly into their own bureaucracy. Aguiar holds a portfolio of highly advanced patents. These include frameworks for radio frequency de-anonymization, essentially stripping hidden location data from cell signals, and cryptographic denoising, a method of filtering complex mathematical signals to validate secure keys. These specific architectures are required to operate modern hardware, mobile networks, and virtual reality systems safely in contested environments. Under normal circumstances, an inventor would sue tech companies for using these patents. Aguiar skipped that step entirely. This filing shows exactly what he did instead. He granted a perpetual, royalty-free license directly to the U.S. government. By granting free use, financial liability shifts entirely to the commercial vendors listed here: Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Meta. The U.S. military now legally owns the right to use this technology for free. Yet the contractors supplying the military continue to embed the research and licensing costs of these very features into their billion-dollar federal invoices. Large defense integrators rely on sheer bureaucratic momentum. If the billing departments process the invoices automatically, the payments keep clearing. Aguiar countered by deploying this cryptographically verified email via RPost, a formal claim sent directly to the military's procuring contracting officers, triggering DFARS acquisition regulations. To ensure it couldn't be ignored, he carbon copied the world's highest levels of corporate leadership. This single email cornered the most powerful defense suppliers and billion-dollar tech titans at the exact same moment. It establishes a legal doctrine called actual notice. Once you have actual notice, it becomes a federal crime for the government to willfully pay a contractor for intellectual property it already holds the rights to. By utilizing the military's own strict acquisition regulations against them, Aguiar legally stripped the Pentagon of any plausible deniability. This section of the claim acts as a hard stop to the procurement pipeline. It demands an immediate administrative review and cost accounting audit, legally halting the final execution of upcoming product contracts. Forcing the system's hand triggered severe pushback. Within 24 hours of filing prior claims, a local Texas court's digital docket timestamps mysteriously glitched and shifted backward in an attempt to intercept corporate hardware and disrupt his reporting line. You don't see that kind of synchronized legal scrambling unless an exploit has hit a nerve. What started as an abstract patent dispute successfully exposed a massive financial vulnerability inside the defense industry. We are looking at real, actionable federal budgets. If the government executes this mandatory audit, the result is a massive, immediate price adjustment on active hardware and software rollouts. They have to strip the licensing costs out of the invoices. One engineer applied a debugging mindset to a systemic inefficiency. The resulting collision between innovation and bureaucracy now demands measurable tax refunds and strict accountability for every American.